Okay, welcome everybody. We're going to try to keep this really short today, and our focus is going to be on what's happening at the outset of this assignment and at the closure. So to begin with, we're going to go to a browser and visit a website that we've talked about a few times already in this course, and that would be unsplash.com. So we're looking for a photograph that we can get excited about making some additions to. We're practicing with the pencil tool, and we're making lines, dashed lines, some quickly drawn shapes, maybe some arrows as part of this. So you're looking around for an image that seems like it's well suited to that. And, one thing that might stand out is an image that has plenty of negative space. That would be in between kind of the subjects or around the subjects. There's kind of neutral areas or dark areas or just kind of plain light areas. Then those would be places that would be easy to fill in with some of the graphics that you're adding. And a busier image with a lot going on maybe doesn't lend itself quite as well to what we're trying to do. Right? So this is really up to you. You can make your own choices about how this is going to work. Look for something that seems interesting. I am going to head into this nature section. You can search for something specific or use some of these kind of browsing areas along the top. The experimental ones can be kind of neat thing to add things to. But I'm going to pick this photograph here of the sea stack. It has plenty of places for me to add some ideas around into the sky, maybe into the foreground, doing some things that seem interesting to me. So I'm going to click this button down here. I don't need to open it in a bigger version to make any choices. I'm just going to click the button to download, and that's either going to make a automatic download into your downloads folder, or it's going to pop up some kind of dialog where you need to choose that you're going to save the file into your downloads folder. You'll notice that it includes the name at the front. That's going to be important to us in the way we're naming our document that we're making. So go ahead and click OK if it didn't, just to do the downloading automatically. And that is our first step. From there, we're going to go back into Illustrator and say we want to create a new document. I am looking for this print size document that's letter-sized paper, 8.5 by 11, but in a landscape orientation. And we're in inches, which is fine. RGB color, high PPI of 300, and we can leave the rest of the settings alone and click create. We'll do some renaming in a little bit, I think. So get this file open. And then the very first thing we want to do, I'm going to make my artboard a little bit smaller with Control-, but then we're going to go ahead and place our file that we downloaded. So into the File menu, File, Place, and looking for our Downloads folder. We're going to pick this file that we just downloaded, select it. We don't want it to be a template in this case, because we're going to include it in our final artwork. And click Place. Find somewhere where we can drag it out, maybe from a corner. And it's filling up roughly half of my letter size paper. I'm okay with that. We'll maybe do something with the other side of the page later. Once we've got it in here, we're going to go to our Layers tab, we're going to lock this layer down, and we're going to click on this menu up here to make a new layer over top. And we're going to call our drawing layer. If you don't like light red as kind of your color for selections on this, you could switch to something else like a green or a dark blue or whatever you want to do. I'm going to pick that cyan, click OK. And we're set up. Then we're on our drawing layer. We can go back to our properties panel and head over to find our pencil tool. Yours is either going to be in a hard press and hold under the brush tool to find the pencil tool. And if it's not there, then you might need to edit your toolbar down here with this little button with the ellipse on it. Click that and find your pencil tool on this list and drag it on top of the paintbrush tool to add it to this kind of little menu here. Then we can click off of that to close it out. That made a little brush mark that I can Control Z to get rid of. I'm going to go over here, switch to my pencil tool, and ready to start adding some lines and shapes onto my page. Then skipping ahead to when you finished making your designs, we've got a little bit of extra work to do on this file since we're using somebody else's photograph as part of our artwork. So the first thing I want you to do is maybe go File, Open, and find in your Downloads folder that file that you used. In your artwork, it should have somebody's name at the front. So we're just going to try to reach in here and select that and Control C to copy. Then we can go ahead and cancel that, and we're going to export. Actually, let's go ahead and save as with this first. Make sure you're putting it in a folder that makes sense for you, so not in the Downloads folder. I'm going to go ahead and find a folder that I've made before for School on Digital Arts. This is going to be an examples file. I'm going to save it in here, and I'm going to start by hitting Control V to put this name in there. Maybe change the formatting on this a little bit. And I'm going to call it pen tool at the front, a little hyphen, and maybe V1. We're going to save this as an Illustrator file and click OK. And then we want to export this as a JPEG so that we can put it up on Canvas. We'll go ahead and say that we want to use artboards for this. And yeah, I'm going to keep this in that same examples folder. You can see it up here. That's where it's going. So I'm going to click export. It was big enough to start with that we can keep a screen resolution for this exported JPEG file. Click OK, and now we're ready to go check in on Canvas. In our assignment on Canvas, we're going to click Reply, and then we're ready to embed image. So again, that's right here, this icon, embed image. We want to upload it to Canvas in the My Files folder. We're going to find not this download that we did from Unsplash, but in that file folder where we saved things and then exported things. Mine is in this example files. We're looking for, make sure this is the JPEG, so that's the one we want. We're going to click there and say open. It's going to upload into the file system on Canvas, and we can hit update and post reply. So there's our example ready to go.